Hey everybody, let's try this YouTube thing out. A lot of you have been asking me to make videos on my new adventure, and so we'll give it a shot and see how it goes. Probably it'll be fun. If not, at least I'll feel like I'm talking to somebody, right? So, first off, please excuse my red face. My face is all wind burnt from driving with my windows down. You know, well, those of you on my Facebook, which most of you right now, actually know the story of my rental car, but for those that don't, let's fill them in. The company that I'm starting with tomorrow paid for a rental car for me to drive up here to Missoula to start training. And they paid for a midsize. So when I got down to, they had me pick it up at the D in Las Vegas, downtown Las Vegas. When I got down there to pick it up, she said, we have no midsize. Now this freaked me out because I figured, oh God, they're going to stick me in a Ford Fiesta or whatever the equivalent is nowadays. I don't even know. And, you know, a roller skate, and they're going to make me drive at 1,300 miles, and that's going to be miserable. I mean, I could do it, but I wasn't looking forward to it. So she comes back out and she says, so I'm going to give you a choice. You can have a Buick convertible or a Dodge Challenger. And I was like, let me think about it. It's 28 degrees in Missoula. I think that I'll take the Challenger. And when I get out to the garage, it's this beautiful orange color. This car was perfect. I love this car. It would have been perfect if it had a sunroof, but then instead of just being windburned, I'd be sunburnt too. And honestly, you know, that car was so much fun to drive. It really was. But there's a law. When you drive that kind of a car, you have to have the windows down. You have to have your music up as loud as you can have it. And you have to go as fast as you possibly, I mean, legally, don't get caught, can. Yeah, so 1,300 miles with the window down, and I am windburnt. And obviously, I can only pack so much to take on my trainer's truck, so makeup didn't make the cut. And maybe when I get my own truck, I'll wear makeup. I don't know, but it's not a big thing to me. Also, I'm wearing my headset because I bought this wonderful little vlogging kit that had a microphone and all that stuff. Unfortunately, when I got it all put together, I had to have some sort of adapter for my phone, which I don't have, and it wasn't included. So if I already tried to do this video without the microphone or the headset, and you couldn't hear me unless I held the phone like practically up to my face. So you get to look at me with a red face and a weird thing on my head, but if you know me, that probably doesn't surprise you at all. So yeah, here I am, it's me. So driving up in that beautiful Dodge Challenger, I hit snow in Parowan. I mean, okay, it was sleet, there was a little bit of snow mixed in, and it lasted for about 2 minutes, but that counts as snow. And I tell you, every time I drive north, it snows. My dad used to live, I'm in Missoula, Montana right now. My dad used to live in a little town about 200 miles from here, and every time I come and visit him, it snowed. It snowed so much one time that you had to put chains on to get over the pass. So I'm telling you right now, there's a storm blowing in. Let me see if it's here yet. Not quite yet. It's supposed to rain tonight. I can almost guarantee you it will snow. I don't care what the weatherman says in Missoula, it's gonna snow. Because they said possible snow, and I went, oh yeah, I'm here, it's gonna snow. So driving up, I didn't make any hotel reservations because I figured, I'll just stop when I get tired. I don't know where I'm going to want to stop. I might want to go all the way to Butte. I might want to stop in, like Idaho Falls. I don't know where I want to stop. Well, not thinking this is Saturday night. There's no hotel rooms anywhere, except for there was this one little small town in Idaho. I don't even remember the name of the town. And all there is a gas station, a sign that says motel. And I was like, okay, well, maybe they'll have rooms. So I pull in there and I go into the front desk. And this place was so skanky. I swear to God, a Vegas hooker would not go here. It was rough. And the guy comes out, he says, we have one room left. It's $120. And I went, no, that's okay. Thank you. Not because I couldn't afford the $120, but in a place where I thought I was going to have to lay down my sleeping bag in order to sleep. Yeah, that ain't happening. So I ended up sleeping in a rest stop just south of Butte. Now, I don't mind sleeping in rest stops. My parents were hippies. I slept in a lot of cars in a lot of weird places over my life. I have a lot of stories, which you'll hear with me doing this probably. It was not a big deal, but let me say this. The Charger is the Challenger. I already got corrected on that. The Challenger is a perfect car but not for sleeping. Though I did sleep well because I was so tired. And then I rolled out of there. I was just south of Butte, and I rolled out of there and I stopped in a little town called Drummond, Montana. And there was a reason I stopped in Drummond. I have to start by telling a story about Drummond. My mom was a hippie. She was a single mom. She had me at 19. So when she was 23 years old, she decided to kind of run away from home. And she hooked up with this guy who was a songwriter, wannabe songwriter. And he convinced her that in order for him to be a professional songwriter, that he had to live in Nashville. So she packed up her car with all of her stuff and me, and we moved to Nashville. And then I think we lived in Chattanooga for a minute, maybe Memphis. I don't even remember. I know that we were in Nashville. But anyway, we weren't there long, and my mom decided this guy was a loser. Gee, imagine that. And we left him on the side of the road somewhere in Tennessee and started driving back home. So this was 1972. A lot of people, everybody hitchhiked back then. It wasn't even a weird thing. And nobody thought it was, well, maybe some people did, but my mother for sure didn't think it was dangerous to pick up hitchhikers. We picked up many over the years. So she stopped. I think she was just tired of listening to a 4-year-old rattle on in the car and have nothing else to do. But she stopped and picked up this hitchhiker, and his name was Michael. And I'm going to be 54 this month, and I still remember this guy. I remember exactly what he looks like. I could probably have a police artist sketch him. I don't know why this man has stuck in my memory so much. But anyways, we picked him up, and he played games with me, and he talked to my mom, and he was just like all-around great guy. And we stopped in Drummond, Montana at a little restaurant called The Wagon Wheel. And we ate there, and then somewhere in Idaho she dropped him off. We went on home to Washington, and she married my dad, well, my stepdad, the man I call my dad. And he was a logger. He was a logger, and we traveled all around Washington, Idaho, Montana while he was working. And I guess I was about 13 or so. We ended up going back through Drummond, even though we didn't know that's where it was. And we stopped and we ate at the Wagon Wheel, which is funny because I walked in and I went, I've been here before, Mom. This is where we had breakfast with Michael. And she's like, Michael who? And I'm like, that hitchhiker that we picked up on the way back from Tennessee. And she's like, oh, maybe it is. I don't know. I knew it was a place. And we ended up going back another time when I was like in my 20s when we were driving through. And then, so I decided when I was planning my trip up here, I looked to see if it was still open. A little nostalgia, why not? And it was, so I stopped there for breakfast. And everybody online was bragging about their chicken fried steak. And right on their sign it says hand-breaded chicken fried steak. And I was like, okay, I gotta give that a shot. So I pull in this little town. This little town maybe has, I'm gonna say maybe 200 people. It's super small. And I walk into the restaurant. I remember the outside of it. There's logs out there that made, when I was a kid, they made like a railway, but now they're kind of loose and the place is kind of run down, but hell, so am I. It's 50 years later, so. And I went in and I was telling the waitress this story. I ordered the chicken fried steak and eggs, coffee. And I was telling the waitress this story and she was like, oh, that's really cool. And I'm like, yeah, it's, so I'm, every 20 years or so I come through. And so I ate, and the chicken fried steak was fabulous. The gravy was so-so. The homemade hash browns were awesome. The eggs were cooked perfectly. Yeah, I would go back. But what was really, really cool about this restaurant, was cool to me. When I walked in, first off, like I said, almost 54, I was the youngest person in there. And they were all local. There was not, they all turned and looked at me like, who the hell are you and why are you here? And it was funny because I started eavesdropping on their conversations. First off, they all looked so happy. I swear to God, nobody in Vegas ever looks that happy. They look so happy and calm and relaxed. And they were all having their morning coffee. And I heard about Mabel's tomatoes. I heard about John's head of cattle. I heard this other guy talking about how he was going to sell his ranch and just buy 2 acres and retire with a small garden. And these people were just, it was just so calm atmosphere, so awesome. You don't get that in Vegas. I'm sorry. Small town living is small town living, but these people looked damn happy. Maybe a little food for thought there. But anyway, the food was good. They changed, the booths used to be orange, now they're blue. It looked like they had a new pergo floor. I don't know, because I don't remember what the flooring was like in there. I remember it being a lot busier, and of course it seemed a lot bigger, so I'm sure it was busier because people stopped then. They didn't just drive to Denny's or whatever chain restaurant they preferred, IHOP, or, yeah, people stopped in places like that. So anyway, on my way out the door, I told the waitress, I said, well, I'll see you in another 20 years, and they all laughed. And the locals all kind of looked at me like I was crazy, which I kind of am, so yeah, it works out. Okay, so the next thing on my little agenda for my first video on here, the reason I called the channel what I did is called Little Pig in a Big Rig. And the reason I called this channel that is because I have a small black pug, and her name is Miss Piggy. And once I get my own truck, which will be in about 4-ish months, Miss Piggy will be on the truck with me, and she will be included in a lot of my videos because she's a pug and she's cute as hell. So why would I not include her, right? Yeah, and everybody asks me because I'm famous for the gargoyle, you know, Frank the Christmas gargoyle. Yeah, and I'll say it again. I've said it a million times. I don't own Frank. Frank lives in Ohio. No, I'm not bringing Frank with me. First off, Frank is very heavy, and I could not lift Frank into a truck. I mean, look at me. I eat chicken fried steak and eggs. Yeah, I can't do it. That's number one. Number two, once again, Frank is with his keeper in Ohio, and I'm pretty sure that if I showed up at her house and tried to take Frank off of her porch, violence would ensue. She would probably come out and kick me in the shins, beat me up. There'd be a fight, and she's my friend. I don't want to fight her. So no, I am not taking Frank. But I did say there would be a gargoyle, and I did not lie. So I am here to introduce you all to Gary. This is Gary the gallivanting gargoyle. So Gary has red eyes. Now, the reason Gary has red eyes is because on the way out of Vegas, he stopped at the dispensary. So we're going to take him through rehab up here in Montana. Vicky's rehab, yeah. So anyways, this is Gary. And I don't know. I know I won't be able to do the involved storylines that Frank's keeper does for Frank. I won't have that kind of time, especially over the next 3 or 4 months. I will be trying to do sort of, I don't know, like a Flat Stanley type of thing, you know, photos of him in interesting places or pretty places. Yeah, I'm going to try to do something on that aspect. There will be a gargoyle involved because all of you said you wanted a gargoyle, so there will be a gargoyle. My big chore is once I get Miss Piggy on the truck is trying to keep her from eating Gary. But we'll work on that. Maybe by then Gary will grow some claws. Yeah, you never know what might happen. The reason I keep saying when I get my own truck, the way that training works for a truck driver, at least for the company that I signed on for, I am going to, tomorrow I start classroom training, and I will be driving around like in an empty lot type of situation. Yeah, they want to teach you not to run in things, not run over people, not kill people. You know, it's 80,000 pounds when it's loaded, fully loaded. Yeah, you got to know how to drive it. So that's a week. And then I get into a learner's permit situation. So I get on a truck with a trainer for 2 weeks. And this person will be sitting in the passenger seat and letting me drive and teaching me how to not kill people. Yeah, listen, you don't want to kill anybody. So, yeah, all those important things, yeah. Anyway, so once I do that, I will come back and I will take my CDL. And once I pass my CDL, I will get back on a truck with a trainer. Might be the same one, might not. And it'll be more like a team driving situation where I drive, they sleep, they drive, I sleep, and they're there to help you if you have any issues. And you have to do that for so many miles, and I can't remember what it was, but I think I worked it out that it's like 2 or 3 months, whatever. It might be shorter than that, might be a little longer, but that's how long that portion lasts. After that, I get my own truck. And that's when I can start having more fun, when I can put up a dash cam so you guys can get more landscapes and that sort of thing. You know, so that I can have some fun with Miss Piggy and have some fun with Gary. Yeah, so that's kind of where this channel's going. If you guys have any ideas, please feel free to suggest them to me, put them in the comments. I am going to ask y'all to subscribe on this on YouTube, only because I'm going to be quite busy and I don't know how good I'm going to be at remembering to share it on various platforms and various groups on Facebook and stuff so that people can see the videos. I'll ask you all to do that for me because, like I said, I'm not going to have time to keep up with all of them. I am going to try to get videos out relatively often as time allows. But right now I'm going to be concentrating on not hitting anything and not killing anybody in that big ass machine I'm going to be driving. But yeah, I will try to get some of this. I do get some off time, right? Yeah, I don't need to sleep. What the hell? I'll just make videos. Why not? So anyways, guys, this is just the first video. I hope not to have all talking head videos like this as I get more equipment. Like I said, I want you guys to subscribe here just because I don't know how good I'm going to be to subscribe here on Facebook, or not on Facebook, on YouTube, because I don't know how good I'm going to be at keeping up with all the different platforms that I have and need. If you have any ideas on what you want to see, I mean, I obviously can't talk about trucking all that much right now because I don't know anything about it right now. Once I get on the truck, especially when I get my own truck, you'll be able to see the inside of the truck and how I live, you know, how I live on the truck and all of that sort of stuff, how it works for time at home with my husband and my other dogs and, you know, that sort of thing. There'll be time for that. It's not right now because, like I said, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I'm doing a career change. Yeah, most people for a midlife crisis get a sports car. I'm getting an 18-wheeler. Yeah, I'm burned out at my old job. I was in the casino industry for 32 years. I have nothing bad to say about it. It was an awesome career. I worked for a fantastic company. I just can't do it anymore. I'm so burned out. And trust me, it's not them, it's me. So, yeah, it's like, it's time for a change, and truck driving is about as exact opposite as you can get from working in a casino. So anyways, if you guys have any ideas, please subscribe here because I don't know how much time I'm going to have to be sharing videos everywhere. Anyway, it was fun. It was fun talking to y'all, and I hope to get back with y'all soon. Have fun. Bye.